Hi everyone, Kiri Masters from Bobsled Marketing here. Just jumping on with a recap of the Black Friday, Cyber Monday holiday, what our experience was with 100 odd clients at Bobsled Marketing, as well as some of the more interesting stats that I've been learning about over the last couple of days as more data has come through about the big shopping holiday. So I'll get started with some data that I found really interesting from Salesforce, which gives a more macro view of the industry. And these stats are relative to US e-commerce sales, not to overall retail, not to other markets, and not including Amazon data specifically. But what I've found from looking at the Salesforce stats and also our experience with our clients at Bobsled on Amazon is that the experience is quite consistent between those two data sets. So first of all, most interesting data point is that the Cyber Week sales were up 4% year on year. So Salesforce looks at Cyber Week, which is the Tuesday prior to Thanksgiving through till Cyber Monday, which for reasons I'll explain later, I think is a really good way of looking at it. So back to that stat, up 4% year on year. That doesn't seem huge, does it? It seems pretty underwhelming. So the thing to remember here is that we were coming off a very high base in 2020 when people were almost exclusively shopping at home. There were very few stores open. So we had a very high growth rate in 2020, and topping that in 2021 would have been very challenging indeed. In an interview that I heard with Salesforce's VP of Insights, Rob Garth, he said that he believes the lower number could also be attributed to shopper demand actually being pulled forward in the week, in prior weeks, because a lot of shoppers were concerned about products going out of stock and about price inflation overall. So there was certainly a call to arms from the retailers this year saying shop early, don't wait. And it seems like a lot of shoppers really took that to heart and did start shopping earlier, which means that the Cyber Week sales numbers might look a little lower than we thought they would. So next stat here is Black Friday saw bigger e-commerce sales than Cyber Monday for the first time, which is an interesting sort of turn in the overall trend over the years. Salesforce also saw that retail catalogs shrunk by 6%. So retailers pulled back on their assortment this year. And that could be due to out of stocks, or it could be due to retailers focusing in on their most, their core products. And that's certainly something that we saw at Bobsled as well, is that a lot of our clients who were having inventory concerns really kind of pulled back, focused on fundamentals, might have pulled back a little bit on ad spend, but really just focusing in on their core product assortment rather than the added complexity of managing a longer tail assortment as well. And very final data point from Salesforce that I thought was very interesting was around a lot of the growth in the Cyber Week period, sales growth, appeared to actually be driven by increased prices. So there was an 11% higher average selling price this year in Cyber Week compared to 2020. And order volume was lower, but average order value was higher. So what does that mean? Well, it looks like people are buying less, but they're paying more for it. And that the 4% increase that we saw year over year from this Cyber Week to last Cyber Week may have largely been due to the fact that products are more expensive now, which is a very interesting conclusion overall. So great insights from Salesforce on that. Pivoting over to our experience at Bobsled Marketing, and if you're not familiar with Bobsled Marketing, we manage the Amazon sales channel and growth strategy for about 100 mid-market clients. We also support Walmart.com and Instacart, but advertising is where we're going to focus in on today. So across what we call Turkey 5, the Thursday to Monday time period, we tracked results across our sample of 100 clients to identify trends. And this year we saw a total sales boost of 60.23% for this Turkey 5 period compared to Turkey 5 2020. So we're up 60% year on year, and this is just on Amazon as well. And then when we look at the same 5-day period 2 weeks ago, our total sales were actually up 81.58%. So we were up 60% year on year, and we're up 82% compared to 2 weeks ago. So those were pleasing numbers. A lot of our clients were very happy with their sales increases year on year. It was lower than 2020. Like I said, that period 2019 to 2020 was an exceptionally strong growth period. Our own experience at Bobsled was a 109% sales increase in 2020 versus a 60% sales increase this year. I'm going to move on to some trends that we saw on the advertising front at Bobsled this year. These are trends from the cohort of clients that we manage advertising for. So Black Friday was a better performer than Cyber Monday for most of our clients. Inventory constraints still affected advertising performance. We faced more problems winning the buy box this year because of competing prices off of Amazon. In terms of the advertising metrics that are of most concern for brands, advertising cost of sales, or ACOS, was up 20%, which can be a very big number. So what this means is that it was less efficient for brands to actually compete on the day because the cost of sales went up. So what brands need to be working on for the future is really improving their conversion rate of their product listings and or increasing their average order value, which on Amazon, without bundling and things like that, it really comes down to your product's selling price. Cost per click was at $1.67 on Black Friday, but only $1.28 on Cyber Monday. So the CPC was much lower on Cyber Monday, but Black Friday although it was more competitive with CPC, it was a much bigger spending day. So there was more shoppers buzzing around Amazon, scooping up deals on Black Friday than they were on Cyber Monday. It was more competitive, but ultimately the assessment from our PPC team is that Black Friday is still the day to chase after. Bigger conversion rate on Friday compared to Cyber Monday. It was conversion rate was 16% on Black Friday and only 11% on Cyber Monday. And so this is one of those sort of broader trends that I call out. I like the fact that Salesforce looks at the entire week. That's something that we've seen among our sort of promotional strategy for clients. A lot of clients chose to start some discounting rather earlier in the week, or perhaps even the week before, and then step up their discounts over the Turkey 5 period. So that meant for people who are shopping early because they don't want to miss out on a deal, the brand gets to preserve some margin during that time period, and it's also much less competitive from an advertising perspective as well prior to Black Friday. So in general, one of the trends I think we're going to see next year and beyond is much less of a focus on Black Friday and Cyber Monday, and the whole promotional event being much more of a week or 2 week long period of promotions and discounts and and goodies for consumers. One more quick fact on the advertising side of things. So Cyber Monday seemed to be better for acquiring new to brand customers on Amazon. The percentage of new to brand customers was higher that day. It was 52% compared to Black Friday at 49%. So not a huge difference, but people who are loyal to a brand might be shopping on Black Friday, and then you might catch some new eyeballs on Monday. One tip to be aware of is Amazon DSP. And if you're not using Amazon DSP right now, it's a great time to set that program up and initiate some campaigns, because what we're able to do with Amazon DSP is actually track and retarget all of the shoppers who viewed your product pages, your brand page, even competitor products. We can target by interest segment, and whether that customers who are sort of in aisle interested in a certain product type but haven't purchased yet. All different ways of actually targeting by behavior rather than by keywords. And so this is a great time to leverage all of that extra traffic that came across to Amazon over this period, and either remind those customers to repurchase if you've got a consumable product, or engage with them a little bit later when they're actually ready to buy. So look at setting up a DSP campaign at this time of the year is a wise choice. Zooming back out a little bit and just wrapping up with what I personally am taking away from this year's event, and going to be thinking about next year in 2022, is that there's 6 things on my list here. One is that brands started promoting deals earlier. As I said, a lot of our clients actually initiated deals earlier in the week. They stepped those up, and that seemed to be a good strategy as people were really interested in shopping earlier. The discounts were smaller. The experience that we had is that a lot of our clients were springing for smaller discounts. Sometimes that had to do with an unfavorable inventory position. The costs are increasing across the board for raw materials and inputs there, so a lot of brands are increasing their prices anyway. And there's always a handful of brands who have a philosophical aversion to promotions and discounts over this period. So there were quite a few of them, and overall discounts were smaller. I think it'll be sort of a macroeconomic trend that will either bring prices back to where they were a year ago, or overall I think people are seeing increased prices across the board, so some inflation again could be expected next year across the board. We might see that Salesforce number going up again because people are paying more for their goods. Number 3 is that the most successful brands made an effort to promote their deals. They didn't just stick a deal up, Black Friday, 30% off discount, and not say boo to anyone. They were running paid search ads to promote those deals. They show up really cleanly in the Amazon search interface. They were also using channels outside of Amazon, like influencer marketing and affiliate, and even a lot of PR activity I think was going on, which most people are unaware of, actually approaching publications to get their products included in gift guides and best deal lists and things like that. A lot of traffic can be generated through a great PR strategy there. And then I've got my favorite, TikTok, seeing a lot of brands collaborate with TikTok influencers and actually running TikTok ads. That can be, that's still very effective today. Number 4, inventory constraints held back a lot of growth. This is not something that brands can change in the short term, but I do encourage you to think about what is the life cycle, where are you at in the life cycle of this event, and what might ultimately play out in 2022 and getting ahead of that. I recorded a podcast a few weeks ago called Will Shippergeddon End in a Giant Sale? And that's the thesis, that eventually these supply chain kinks will be worked out of the system. Brands and retailers are going to be sitting on a ton of stock, maybe quite a lot of seasonal stock that didn't arrive in time for the holidays, and they're going to be overstocked. So we're going to have a huge amount of clearance sales in the middle of next year. That's my thesis there. So what are you going to do to get ahead of that situation? Number 5, Black Friday is still our big day to bet big overall. Although it's more competitive with advertising costs, shoppers were more active on this day. And finally, the Turkey 5 is no longer just a 5-day event. Shoppers have been trained to look for deals earlier now, and I think that that's a very important lesson to take into planning for 2022. Hope you enjoyed this video. I will link up to some more resources if you're interested in reading more, and I'll see you around.